So today's Tuesday. I did complete all of last week's bags. This week, I am thinking on switching some things up. And I'm not sure if I should start by sorting things out more or by throwing all of my hubby stuff into one giant bin for him to go through. Or I will preemptively go through, sort tools, medical stuff, da-da-da. He's an old military medic, so Army, poor childhood. I think he has a mild case of hoarding disorder. And it doesn't help because in the military you also try to use as much, you try to use something up as much as possible. So he likes to hang on to everything. He's like, oh, it could still be useful. And so the way I counter that is, do you have an exact purpose for it right now? If you're going to hang on to it, what are you going to use it for? Tell me right now. If you can't give me an answer within like 10 seconds, it's not useful to us because there's nothing we need it for. It then takes that that thought of it's a need and puts it out of his head. It becomes a want. I want to hang on to this because of stuff. I don't need to hang on to it because I don't have a need for it. See? So it sounds horrible, but you do have to kind of play a little bit of a manipulation mind game. And you are manipulating their mind, but you're trying to get them to think in such a way that's more conducive and productive in civilian world, because you can't just hang on to everything because there's too much that you can hang on to, whereas overseas there was next to nothing. So when you hung on to everything, it still wasn't a lot or enough. So anywho, that's my TED Talk for the day, I guess. So I'm thinking I'm going to dump all the stuff that I don't have a place for, which means it's probably his stuff, and put it in a big bin. So it's all together. So I have this, take a look. I have this bin here, which is probably mostly his stuff anyways. But it looks like there's stuff in there that can be donated, it's laundry, or what have you. So I'm thinking on emptying this out, sorting the things I know where they go, or should go, and then putting back all the things that I don't know, including the stuff from the other day. So that way it's just all in one big location, and it kind of visually solidifies everything all together so you can actually see how much it is. Because it's all spread out, it actually doesn't look as bad as it is when it's clumped up together. Like, oh my God, this is volume. And I'll tell him the volume. I'm like, honey, you have like, over exaggeration, 2 by 3. That's 6 cubic feet of stuff. And when I put it in those terms, it's more alarming. And then he wants to deal with it. It's like I said, weird mind games I got to play with the hubby, because that's just how his brain is. So I'm thinking for today and for yesterday, I'm going to take care of this bag, which is a bunch of stuff my friend gave me, which is crafty stuff, and or I might donate it. So I got to sort it out whether I'm going to keep or donate. And then this bin into its various places. I'm deciding if I want to do that now or do some of my schoolwork now and then do this later. Debating. Hopefully I don't take too long to debate because I'm thirsty. Okay. See you soon. Okay, so aside from the bagging, the unbagging you guys just saw, I was just going around the room, just grabbing and moving obvious things. For instance, like, we have a lot of paper bags. We tend to use paper bags a lot because we get them from the grocery store and everything. And they're actually quite convenient because they don't hold up to the stuff that you put in them. So it forces us to deal with those things sooner. So I found a couple of paper bags that just had random trash in it because my hubby likes throwing the trash in there. We're trying to find a good system for him. Where's an optimal location for the garbage can so he could just throw the garbage in because unfortunately sometimes when he has his PTSD episodes, he's not fully aware of what he's doing. So he'll start throwing things into just whatever container, doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter what the thing is. So I could end up with like gross garbage in a container of stuff that I can't get dirty. So then I have to go and like rearrange it every time his episode's finished. I have to go do like a sweep of the room. Okay, what's in the absolute wrong places? So I'm doing that. And so I did this. Take a look. I found all of the loose paper bags and a couple of ones that had just like random stuff in it. And I put them in this magazine holder. So that way I have a collection now of bags I could just come grab from. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm just going like shelf by shelf and grabbing things that just don't belong there. For instance, this shelf is supposed to be for all the animal stuff. These things need to go with the cleaning supplies in the closet in the hallway. So, and just skimming across, there's a couple of things up here that completely cluttered this area. Now I have all this space. I can put those things away, and there was a couple of things on my desk I threw out or I put them away. And there was a couple of random, like, oh, this is where I found that paper bag I was just talking about. So, like, there's, like, certain things I'm like, okay, no. I have to get rid of temptation sites. That's what I'm going to call them. I'm going to call them temptations. We're basically, because he is a dumper, that's what I call them, people who who just have to be able to throw things in a container. I think Cass from Clutterbug is, that falls under, like, ladybugs, like, the mess is contained into a specific container. So everything that belongs in that container is in that container, but that container itself is a hot mess, which is okay because you know that the thing you want is going to be in that container. And he wants to be very meticulous and put everything in their special little pockets and everything like he did in the army. But I'm like, but that's not how you operate in the civilian world, so you can't do that. We have to find a way where you can be a dumper. And so one of the things is I'm actually locating the garbage can over on his side of the room, so it's closer to him, and so he doesn't have to go forward to put things in there. The deposit bottles are over here. They have their own container. I do occasionally have to go through there because he'll put things in there that he doesn't realize are not deposit, like my vitamin water bottles. Those are not deposit in New York State, so I do have to go through, but it's simpler because they're all bottles. When he goes to bag up the bottles to take them out, he's like, oh yeah, these are not deposit, put those right away in the recycling. So it's cutting something down into fewer actions, and the fewer the actions, the easier it is to maintain. That's been like the decluttering organization like mantra lately, is the fewer actions it takes, the easier it is to maintain. And that's 100% true, especially when you're a busy parent or a caregiver, or you have ADHD, or you're autistic, whatever. The less steps it takes to do something, the easier it is to maintain. So I find the dumping method actually does work for not just him, but also me. So for instance, these are all my medications. Does it look like a hot mess? Yes, but I know I can grab this basket and, do my thing where I refill my medications for the day. And then this is always right on top, so I know which ones to grab. Also my deodorant is in here. Anything I use on the occasion, because I get so many muscle spasms. My hubby needs to massage me down. Voltaren, do I use that all day long? No, I use it once in a great while, but it's all in here just in case I need it. These are all my standard medications for just me. So, yeah, that's just a brief example. But it doesn't have to be meticulous, all the piles upright and everything in an order. No, it's just I throw it in there, I know it's in there, and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about it, except the once a week when I have to refill all my medications. So that's a perfect example of like just dumping is this. So yeah, so I'm gonna cut this video now. Sorry. But I think just the unboxing and that brief, go through. I'm still going to go through and do a couple more things sporadically about the room, but I feel like I'm going to count that as a bag because if I think about it, equivalency, it's about the same volume as a recyclable shopping bag. And it's just putting things back in their appropriate places. And that's part of my goal is not actually decluttering at this point, is organizing and getting my stuff in order, being very purposeful about it. So I think I'm going to do another clean slate, this time with my glasses on, and get that organized. And I'm going to count that as today's bag because that does take time, thought, and organization tactics. So that's bags, what, 11 and 12 now? I don't know. I got to count. All right. Oh, that reminds me. Hold on a second. I said I'd show you guys this, but, oh, so these are my weekly tasks I have to do. I do put a sticker over them so I never have to look at them again once they're done. But this is my Lent calendar. I have the date, right? I also write down what I did for that bag. So if I realize, oh, I have to repeatedly go back to that same thing, for instance, laundry, I try to get it all, like the whole week's worth done in one shot. If I have to constantly go back to my red basket and deal with that, I'm going to see what are patterns also at the end of this and just be like, okay, now I have to incorporate that in my life. But I also have a reminder with these little fishes on here to not eat meat on Friday, especially after that first Friday. Jesus got me on that one. If you go back in the feed, I think it's the first video I put up in this playlist. But yeah, no, I put a sticker down for every time I accomplish the goal, and I write down what I cleaned up. I can then see patterns and go from there. So yeah, you guys should give this a try. It doesn't have to be for Lent. I know not everybody's a Christian or whatever. It doesn't have to be for Lent, but like do a 30-day challenge where you're just going like, bit by bit, and actually write down what bits you did. Because then you can see patterns if you have to go back and redo something over again. Maybe the system's not working, or maybe it just has to be a habitual thing. So, yep. Bye, guys.